dollars with holes drilled in them for $24 a piece, which by weight is under melt. One has a little bit bigger hole and more wear. Uh, this one, if it had a mint mark, well, the drilling pretty much took care of that. This one, the hole's a bit smaller, and it is a D Denver mint. So at $24 each, these are right near or maybe a little below melt, as the melt on these is almost $25 at recent prices. 90% silver has a really nice ping to it. So what I need to do tomorrow, when I go to my other coin dealer, is pick me up another dollar coin tube for big coins. Now, bought this piece dollar from my regular coin dealer a while back. It's very ugly on that side with the black spots, but it was, at the time, maybe $1 over melt. And this coin, this Walking Liberty, has a bunch of little... Thanks, Ron. This particular Walking Liberty has a bunch of holes in it. I did a video for it. Well, they're not all the way through, they're just divots. But it is kind of neat looking. And it was under melt when I bought it. Now, we're going to go ahead and look in this bag of stuff I need to sort anyway, so some of y'all probably haven't seen some of this stuff. Got a good sized bag of coins and other stuff, and I kind of forget what's in it. So let's see what is in it together. Oh, graded 1959, Mint State 59, Roosevelt. They had to, oh, there's bluegills out in the river, that's for sure. Lots of them. All right. That's a pretty neat thing, but challenge coins. Well, I served in the military at Fort Leonard Wood. I went by my coin dealer a while back, and he had this challenge coin. Now, this is after my time there, but it is kind of neat, shaped in the shape of Missouri, and Fort Leonard Wood in the map, you go about roughly 100 miles or so past St. Louis, and it's right somewhere near there in the middle of the state, well, the southern middle. But I got this for, I think it was $2. It's kind of neat looking, but it's not worth anything. Pumbaa the pig. How you doing, Pumbaa? Now, I got this thing, and I had a hard time finding much detail about it. I believe it to be bronze. And this guy, it's International Harvester, Centennial of the Reaper. A bronze medal of some sort. 100 years as of 1931. This thing might have been made somewhere around that time. Somewhere after 1931 for sure. Now, There was a loose Roosevelt dime in that bag too. And it is 1992S. But it is a silver one. Kind of neat. Well, I'll move on with a few other things that are in here. For those who are religious, this has the 10 Commandments on it. It's gold plated. 100 mils of 3/9 fine gold clad. Gold clad, plating doesn't really add any real value. It's not very much gold. Yep, but that's the guy's name, all right. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not silver or gold. It's just plated with some gold. That's all. Neat piece, though. I almost forgot about it. Random junk. Standing Liberties and a couple dimes. Both Mercury dimes. There's quite a bit of that kind of stuff in here because I buy a lot of it. Including, if I can get it to move, a dark Benjamin Franklin, which in this video it might not look as dark, plus a 1/4 troy ounce Buffalo. All this was bought at or near melt. And usually 1/4 ounce Buffaloes and stuff like that aren't. If you try to order them online anyway, you won't get them that close to melt. Now, this is a 3/9 fine silver piece, licensed by the NFL. I got it right at melt, Super Bowl. It's kind of neat. My regular coin dealer had this a few weeks ago, months ago, whenever I bought it. Silver was up a bit. Probably when I bought it was 50 cents, maybe $1 over melt. Kind of neat. Yes. As a matter of fact, I have quite a bit of them, the copper pennies. I can show you what I did with them. No, none of these are wheat cents. But I spent a lot of time pulling these out of my change. They're 1959 to 1981 copper cents. Last I looked, copper was about, the copper worth of these cents is about 2.6 something cents per coin. So this is worth more than the pennies by its weight in copper. Even though it's not legal to melt them at the moment. Another bag of random junk that I bought at melt. There are Roosevelt dimes and Mercury dimes that are worn quite a bit, and a couple Standing Liberties that pretty much the date's almost entirely gone. That I usually can get them at or below melt. And this Man on the Moon piece says sterling on it somewhere. So the light hits it right and it can focus through the plastic. That says sterling right there. That's something you look for on these token coin type things. If it says sterling on it, it should be 0.925 silver. Got that for about melt too. Now sometimes when you buy a coin, it's a little over melt. I mean, I do buy stuff that is nicer, and then I buy stuff that isn't. This one, it's a 5 1/4 with full rims. And you can see some of the nodules on the side too, although it's wearing away a little there. But once they have full rims, they're probably good for grade. And $8 is kind of cheap for a good barber. Something like this barber, which someone put burnt orange reverse. You can kind of see the golden red color to it. It is worn quite a bit. Now this particular one, you can see that the 6 and the rim haven't joined yet, so it's not worn a whole lot. It is darkly toned on the, especially on the reverse. Well, stuff like this is over melt, so yeah, it's not collected for that. This other stuff I've got here, and this, I was able to get these at melt. This Colombian and this Mercury Dime Design silver round. American Precious Metals Exchange. It says 1/10 troy ounce on there, so it's a bullion piece, and this is a commemorative $50. They only made 1892 and 1893. They really weren't meant for circulation, but because of a bad economy at the time, they ended up being circulated. This is a winter themed. This is 1973, possibly bronze metal. It's kind of neat. I think I might have got it for a couple dollars. I don't really remember. But there's just some little treasures in this bag that I really forgot I had. Hadn't seen in a while. So sometimes you gotta go through things and kind of look it over and see what you got. What about this? This is pretty odd. The way the wear is and how dark all the rest of it is. 1891, last year of the seeded dimes. It's Philadelphia. But this side, that's mainly why I bought that, just because how it looks. Hello, Liberty Bleeds Silver. How you doing? Just going through a bag of random stuff, trying to see what's in this bag and, give me an idea where I should put some of the stuff and sort it. Canadian silver, 80%. It's probably $23 at the time for an ounce of silver, I believe. So silver is up quite a bit. Yeah, I kind of like spring cleaning. But when someone talks about the physical value of metals, though, that's what this is. These I bought recently. I don't remember exactly when, but it was $19 or for both of them. So $9.50 a piece. They're worn, they're dark, toned up, whatever. This one has a partial date on it. Most of the date, 1934, and this one is dateless. And then here's 3 40% ones, which were bought below melt probably. Its weight, its physical value of the 40% silver is how I would buy that one. Now, bought those a while back. They're in my tube of dollar coins. I need to get another tube. $19, $38 to buy 2-piece dollars that were damaged. Not something I would buy at that price all the time, but not something that's really collectible beyond its weight. And that is one thing I do most of the time with this kind of stuff is its weight. Now none of these are all Indian head cents with some environmental damage on them and stuff, and wear and tear, scratches. I don't remember what I paid for them, but it wasn't high, and it's probably a couple of dollars for the bag, 5 of them. Now, one of the last things in this are these coins here, which are random. Where did I get all this stuff? $1975, 1 lira coin. Most of the rest of the stuff I think is just modern, except that ain't modern. A couple of old ancient type coins and a 2.5 wire, 1972. That looks like something from the Vatican almost. Maybe. What's on the other side? Might not be. It says something about 10 Florent random world coins that probably got the whole bag for $1 or $2. But that's this bag. I need to do some sorting with some of this. And a few of these things probably need to be stored away outside of that bag, put away in a box, and sorted in the collecting box to where I know what I have. But I thought that was neat looking, even though it is damaged. But yeah, the thing I got today mainly to talk about was 2 1921 Morgan dollars with holes drilled in them for 24 apiece, which by their weight is a little under melt. Because this one's barely, it's such a small hole, it's not down very much. This one's down a bit more, but at 24 each, I'm safe to say this is below melt for the total weight of the coin. Because unless the hole's kind of big, and that's not a very big hole. If the hole's really big, then you need to do some careful math to make sure you're below melt. Because once they're like this, to me, that's all they're worth, is just the melt. The weight. And what you do is you just take whatever 90% is worth, a coin that is, at the time you're buying it, and say it's 11 something melt and it's 12.5 grams and $0.50. You divide that 11 something by 12.5, and I came up with 93 cents per gram on these today when I bought them. So 93 cents per gram, and I think the grand total on this is probably about 51 grams almost, right in that neighborhood. So it's only down about a gram from what 2 uncirculated ones would be, or lightly circulated. But it's pretty much all I had to talk about. And then plus I wanted to look through that bag a little bit because there's some stuff in there I was like, I don't remember getting some of it. That's what happens when you buy a lot and you put it away and then you stick it in the vault and it sits there, and then you're like, well, what is in this? Unfortunately, I got too far and away too much stuff that's like that. It's in a container in the vault or elsewhere. And you don't know how much is in it. Now, most of this stuff in here is random bags of 90% silver. I think all of it is US stuff. I don't think there's any foreign in this. But I did get a kind of neat to be able to get one of these. Where is that thing? This bag here. A Seated Liberty quarter, 1854. And a few other random damage. There's an 1854 almost totally worn out quarter. But when you can get this stuff cheap enough, at melt or below, it's worth buying. Then as silver goes up a lot, you can turn around and sell it at melt and make some money. Whereas normally on this kind of stuff, you probably wouldn't be able to sell it for any collector value. I mean, the date's pretty well gone on this Barber half. I mean, it's scratched badly, damaged, worn out really bad on the back. But you weigh it by its grams, and if you can get it for a reasonable price, then it's worth buying, in my opinion. And then this one, the most interesting thing about this, 1854, it's probably been hoed and sealed, maybe, or something. I don't know what happened here and here. But the flip side, someone carved, and they would refer to this as a love token, although proven when this was done. Could have been done during the Civil War because they did that. But it looks like it says MPK. That's what it looks like it says to me. I think PK. And a few extra little things, carved into it. And it looks like, however, they got all this back smoothed out was they took it and rubbed it against something a long time until the design came off and they had a plain flat spot to go ahead and carve this into it. But then this one's down quite a bit, 1854, but when you look at the flip side, almost nothing is left on it. You can barely start to make out part of the eagle that's on the back of them. But I got all this stuff for melt value. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but there's a Walking Liberty with a pretty good size hoe on it. And then there is $275 total dollars face value. And what you do with something like this is you weigh the entire stack and then see how many grams it is. Once you know how many grams it is, you do your math and then you decide if the price they want for it is suitable. And for me, this has to be right at melt to be a suitable price to pay for this kind of silver that's worn out a lot. There's another Colombian $50. This one's in 1892. Look at all this stuff for melt value. And this was thrown in for nothing. It's a 1911 nickel. That's been, looks like it spent some time outside in the dirt or something. Barber dime. The 1892 Colombian $50 with the ship on the back of this is pretty cool looking. And one thing I really like on coins is ships. So if the coin has a ship on it, I'm inclined to want to get them. I think this entire bag worth of silver, Oh, there's a couple loose ones in the bottom, including a barber coin that, if I remember correctly, that thing is less than 5.2 grams, 5.24 or something maybe. It is really worn. There's hardly any of the design left. And the Walker, no date. And it's definitely been circulated and pocket carried for years. Those might have been in a bag in here, but they fell out, or they just weren't in a bag. But this entire bag of stuff, sometimes your dealer has a bunch of Walkers that are messed up, like these are, all worn out. But you'd weigh every single one of these coins together, and I'm assuming it's a few grams less than what 250 worth of 90% silver usually has. And then you price it, or you try to get it at melt. If you pay melt for this stuff, you're not really getting hurt unless silver goes down. If silver goes up, you're probably doing okay. And then don't see a hole like this in the middle of a coin too often. Usually they put them on the edge and people wear them as necklaces. But that whole canister, I think this is all loose junk I bought in 2024, I think. And I might have got a few other pieces that were dollar coins that year. But that's how you buy that kind of stuff. You buy it for its weight. Because it shouldn't have a premium when it's worn out. But I'm hoping everyone has a good night. Been on live for a little while. I think I want to go ahead and do some other spring cleaning and stuff, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, because I'm going to my other coin dealer tomorrow. And I had something else to do around noon. If I didn't, I might be tempted to go to the Rockville coin shop, but that takes a little while to get up there. And they close early on Saturdays. But that's pretty much all I have. I hope everyone has a good night and a blessed day tomorrow.